Hey everybody, it is Monday and this is Sarah, and here's your second weekly Monday Mortgage Minute. I called it Mortgage Mondays last week. I'm trying out another name, your Monday Mortgage Minute. Anyways, so last week we talked about a question I get all the time. It's about what do you do if you stop paying your mortgage and what happens with your homeowner's insurance. And this week, so if you missed that one, go back and look for that video where I spent about 5 minutes talking about homeowners insurance payments and premiums when you pay a mortgage, and then what happens if you fall behind on your mortgage. This week is a similar question about property taxes. I get this all the time as well. What do I do if I haven't paid my mortgage? What do I do about my property taxes? So it's the same thing. So when most people have a 30-year mortgage, most people in this country buy a house with putting some money down and borrowing money over 30 years to pay off the house. And what you do when you pay that is your payment includes four things usually. It includes part of the principal of that mortgage, it includes interest on that principal, it includes a portion for your homeowner's insurance, we talked about that last week, and it includes a portion that's set aside by your bank that you pay to the bank for your property taxes that goes to your town. So when you pay your monthly payment, you don't have to worry about those things. You don't have to worry usually about your homeowner's insurance being paid, and you don't have to worry about your property taxes to your town being paid. So that's how it works here in Connecticut, at least. Other states might be slightly different because of property tax laws and issues. So when you are paying your mortgage on time, there's a piece of your monthly payment that gets set aside by your bank. Your bank has what's called an escrow account, and it holds $300, $400, $500 a month, however much your taxes are, and they put it in an account, and then once or twice a year, depending on when your town needs to be paid, the mortgage company sends your money to your town and pays your property taxes. So the question I get, and that's spread out over the course of a year. So like my property taxes are about $6,000, so $500 a month would get set aside every month, and twice a year I send the bank sends $3,000 to my town to cover my yearly taxes. So people ask me all the time, well, if I'm behind on my mortgage, what about my property taxes? So it's true, if you're not paying a monthly mortgage payment and your your yearly property taxes are escrowed, are included in your monthly mortgage payment, then they aren't going to get paid. They're not going to get paid by you. But the bank will actually usually put up the money and pay your property taxes. So, because the thing is about mortgages is the bank has loaned you money and they want to be able to make sure that they get paid one way or the other. And if they're first in line, so when you talk about who owns a property, the town that your house is in, the land that your house sits on belongs to the town, and that's why they tax you. But the mortgage company that lent you the money, they get first priority of getting paid back if you fall behind on your bills. Unless, of course, the taxes don't get paid and then the town wants to be first, and the town has the right to take the house back, to sell it, to pay off the taxes, and then anything that's left goes to the mortgage. So this is the concern that my clients have, or the people who call me asking this question have, is what if I'm not paying my property taxes? What will happen? Well, generally your mortgage company will pay your property taxes for you, at least for a year, 2 years, sometimes longer. So that amount, so let's say I didn't pay my mortgage and my bank paid my town. Let's say they paid the January payment $3,000. So now the bank is going to add that $3,000 onto my mortgage balance. And now my total principal is going to be $3,000 more. And the bank might actually want me to pay more every month now to pay them back. So that's another issue that happens, is if you don't pay your property taxes, you might get a bill from your bank that's higher than your old monthly payment was, because they've now taken money out of their own pocket. They've written a check out of their own money to pay your property taxes off. But the question is asked to me because people worry, if I'm not paying my mortgage, how much time do I have? What do I have to write the check to my town? So generally you have a year, 2 years, sometimes longer before your town will say, before your bank will say, we're not paying anymore. We're not going to pay your town anymore. And then it takes a while for the town to catch up and say, hey, we didn't get the money. We're now going to do our own foreclosure. So you do want to be concerned about paying your mortgage on time for all these reasons. One is you want to get your homeowner's insurance premium paid, which you don't have to do through your bank, but if it's done through your bank, you want to make sure that's kept up. The other thing is, yes, you want to pay your mortgage to be able to pay those property taxes as part of your monthly payment. And if you don't, your bank will pay them for you, and then it'll get passed on to you eventually one way or the other. But just keep in mind, nothing's going to happen overnight. If you can't pay your December payment and your taxes are due in January, and so you didn't pay part of your escrow to your bank in December, and so you're short, you don't have the full, like in my case, $3,000 in January on deposit with your bank because you didn't pay a payment, the bank will make up for it. But the bank will then pass that on to you, and they'll want it back from you, and they might start foreclosure proceedings sooner than later in order to get their money back, so that it doesn't keep happening. You know, it might put you into default if you don't pay your property taxes, and the bank has to pay your property taxes for you. So again, no immediate effect, no overnight effect, no foreclosure auction sign on your lawn just because you didn't pay 1 or 2 mortgage payments or because you're behind on your property taxes, but that's what happens. The bank will actually pay them for you, and that's the takeaway here. So please keep tuning in to the Monday Mortgage Minute and submit your questions here while I'm live, or via email or message to me in between. I'm going to be going live every Monday between now and the end of the year, and I'll continue these into January if everybody's interested. So if you are behind on your mortgage, if you're in foreclosure, if you know someone who's having trouble paying their mortgage, just send them my way. I'll talk to anybody for any amount of time that I need to figure out if there's something I can do to help you, and we'll figure out a strategy and make a plan. All right, thanks a lot. Talk to you next Monday, 12:05. See you here.